We're back again because the new episode of The Witch Mercury dropped. We only got 3 more weeks left after this. I'm going to try and be normal about it. And how are y'all doing? Okay, so let us Sunday, you know all that, yada yada yada. Spoilers. I don't know how to keep starting these videos without sounding so redundant. So yep, episode 21 is now here, and just to get my overall thoughts, I thought it's weird to talk about this one. Like, it's good. It's another good episode. Saletta Sundays, they always go crazy. I'm just here for the ride, really. But this episode is definitely a in-between episode, which it's another quote-on episode, if you ask me. I know stuff happens. I know there's death, there's murder, war crimes. But just in my head, in terms of actual stakes, in terms of, like, the characters, this is a more low-key episode after the insanity that was episode 20, which is, it's understandable. Like, out of all episodes, this is very much the one where this is purely the setup for what is going to be the end game of the series, because, we know what Quiet Zero is at this point. Siletta has a resolve now. We are setting up we are going to go take on the final boss and stuff, and it is going to be a big epic finale. Siletta and Murine are probably going to reunite next episode. That is my prediction. That is my belief. Y'all can tell me I'm wrong later, but one thing you cannot tell me that I'm wrong about is that Petra was still alive, and I freaking got it, man. I had faith. Like, she's even really a favorite character of mine, but when I saw what happened to her, I was like, oh, come on, you can't just kill her off like that. That is too easy. You can't just let that happen. I understand why it can work, to push Siletta's growth more, but, I don't think she needs that specifically. A bunch of students already died, but I was right. The medical department, she's in there. She's in critical condition. She's not dead. She's probably gonna get some sort of Gundam limbs or something. That's still my guess, but that doesn't change the fact that I may have been wrong about how Lauda was going to turn out, because he is very much in his a bit of an angry arc right now, because I think he's met a Murine, and he's going to pilot the Gundam that everyone's excited about, and I had no idea how to pronounce his name. Oh, is it the Schwarzed thing? I have seen so many people ever since that thing was first shown off about how Siletta was going to pilot it. I know people are like disappointed that she didn't, but personally, it's like, as someone who isn't like the most into like the Gundams themselves, the mobile suits, and the know-how about all of them, I'm not one to collect Gundams. Maybe I'll collect an aerial figure at some point, but like, I'm not that much of a nerd about it, so really him piloting that thing isn't really that big of a deal to me. I think more so it's the fact that, oh man, this guy's getting focused. Like, really, it's like, I'm sorry, I don't care about Lauda at all. I like Guel. I think he's a good character. I guess they could go somewhere with his brother. Like, I knew we were gonna go in this direction. Like, there was gonna be focus on his brother. Like, it's been planted, but it's like, I'm gonna be real, I am not that invested in this. But I'm willing to keep an open mind about it. Like, it's probably gonna be like the last big thing for Guel to do, and Guel's family in general. Like, I don't think Lauda's gonna die. I think he's gonna get smacked the hell up piloting that Gundam, because honestly, I don't think he's gonna be that good of a fighter. But it's just gonna be like it's going to be a scenario where they basically calm him down, and as a result of calming him down, I think like Siletta, with the words that she says and stuff like that about how like he blames Murine, but like Siletta's probably gonna counter that with her own words, and I think Murine will probably be hearing what she says, and that is going to lead into their reunion, which I think is happening this episode, like next episode. And I don't think, not the beginning of the episode, it's gonna be like around the end of the episode, like they actually come face to face. I imagine Murine is gonna be able to hear Siletta through like some sort of communication thing in the Gundam, because it's established that Siletta is gonna be piloting a Gundam. But reunion episode, I think Lauda's arc is honestly just gonna be like a catalyst for everything, for like Siletta stuff, in a similar vein to how Martin and Nika's whole thing was also partly a way for Siletta to reflect on what's happened with her and everyone else in her life. Also, Siletta in this episode is basically more of what I expected from how the last episode ended, because at the end she's like, she's going to choose to make a difference and help others, and that is still the case here, even at the beginning with her just throwing out little resources and tomatoes like in food for everyone else, because it's like, oh man, y'all know how much I love Siletta, and it's like that still stays true here. There's not really much else I can say that's like, it isn't what was the obvious path for a character to go after the end of the last episode. She tells everyone else the truth about who she is, and it's also basically like exposition for us if it wasn't clear enough already. It's like just puts it all into words that that could be used in a YouTube summary describing the whole plot of this series. I'm interested in seeing how she ends up piloting the new Gundam she is going to be in, because it does feel like that kind of came out of nowhere, this Gundam thing, but it's like, I don't know, I'm gonna just go with it really, because I assume this is going to basically replace Ariel for her, because if you look at the design, it's like, it is super reminiscent, and that also makes me think that Ariel isn't going to actually... Ariel's gonna be a goner for sure, including Ariel, like the Jet Flights are there from the very beginning. And, I don't mind her doing this Gundam, because, I heard this stuff about the other Gundam, and it's like, it probably makes more sense for her to use this Gundam, because it just seems to have more significance in terms of just how it looks and such, compared to a Gundam made by, what was it called, Jertic, and or some other place, to say, hey, we whipped up this Gundam, just get in a stiletto. I mean, that's still kind of the case here, where it's like, there just happened to be another Gundam. But whatever, I'm fine with it. They really highlight how dangerous this Gundam is, and I'm curious to see how Sila is going to manage it. I feel like she's actually going to do it, there's going to be a struggle for her to using it, but I think she's actually, I think it is going to highlight how even without Ariel, Sila is still a skilled pilot, because that is what I have taken away from her. Like, even without Ariel, she is still capable on her own. I'm curious to see how that plays out, and if there's going to be any sort of twist on how the permit score affects Sila at all, because this Gundam is basically like, hey, you go in this thing, it is going to kill you. But you know what? I'm curious to see how Sila manages it. I don't think Sila is going to die. That just sounds silly to me. I don't know, but once again, you can call me an idiot in the comments later on. But Sila dying, nah, she's gonna be fine. It's gonna be circumvented in some sort of way for how she's going to manage in this Gundam. And with that, we're probably having another battle next episode, and I assume it's going to be Lauda, and then afterwards, the last 2 episodes, Quiet Zero against her mom. That is going to basically, I assume the final battle is going to be her mom and Ariel, and maybe at some point Aries going to turn on her mom, and stuff like that. Milan came back in this episode. I thought he was going to basically leave the school at this point, but no, he's still here. I guess he somehow, after he ejected from his Gundam, he made it back. He hid back at the school, and it seems he is going to be joining us for the finale. So, this is probably going to give some sort of conclusion to his character at some point during these last 3 episodes. He said he wants to go somewhere, and in exchange, he's going to help. I can already see where this is going. By the end of the series, he is probably going to be at the lake that's Noria sketched out, and then that's basically how it's gonna go for him. I imagine that's going to be his last appearance in an episode, the conclusion for him, which will be pretty fitting. I know even if I predicted, I'm still gonna be this feels right. I think overall I have been growing to like Elan 5 more as a character, and I think it's one of those things where once I go to rewatch the series, I'm probably going to appreciate what they did with his character more. I know I said before, it's I feel like it's a bit too fast and stuff like that, but, I think there is stuff to appreciate with his character, it's he's not a favorite. Y'all know Sila, Murine, Choo Choo, characters like that, those are my faves, but, he will probably rise as, as I give it more time and thoughts, essentially. Shadik and all his girls got arrested in this episode, or they're held in custody now, and it's basically fleshing out more of what was we saw before, where he knows the things he's doing was there were casualties, there was things wrong about them, but he still wanted to make peace between space and Earth, so he was willing to go through with it. And Shadik's a pretty cool, he's not, again, he is not an outright villain or anything like that. He does crappy things and has a very messed up view of Murine that can be seen throughout the series. But, he is still just another human. He's still from Earth. He wanted to make a change, and we saw where that got him at this point. And what they're going to do with him now, I really don't know. That's actually one of the things where I'm just not sure yet. And Murine, she is, we established at the end of episode 19 that she is going to be in a mental, she is going to be stuck in her own head, and and this episode showed that, yep, that is indeed the case, and we're all predicting Sila is going to be one to get her out of her funk. That's about what we expect. Her father, I don't know what the end game is with that guy anymore. Is that going to be later season stuff? Is he going to wake up at the end and it's we're setting up stuff for the next season? I really don't know there specifically. And honestly, it's there's probably more I could talk about, but really everything I could say is already things I said before, and it's again, like I said before, this episode's a breather episode. That's not an issue at all. It's just when it comes to talking about it, it's like I will have more to say next episode and the one before this. So now I'm just kind of in a, what do I really get into? Like, I could talk about Quiet Zero, but I think I will have more to say later, other than like, hey, it looks cool. The music that plays during the battle, I love the vocals again. I really miss the Witcher Mercury theme specifically. The one that played whenever Sila was basically had the advantage in a fight during her duels in season 1, and I really hope they play that theme again later on at some point in the series. I don't know if I said that before actually. Maybe I have. I bet I might have. But you know that song. Well, I love that song so much. Yeah, please play it again. Actually, a great character in this episode was Nika, and you know we got a little bit of resolution for Martin and Nika's whole thing where she's planning to drop out of the school, but that doesn't mean she's done. She's going to, you know, find herself more, make amends in her own way, and that could be set up for another season for all we know. It's like, I feel like I'm saying that a number of times. You know, it could go somewhere else. But also, it's good to have Nika back at Earth House and be with the others again, and just see this new conviction she has and the way she talks back at Belle. I forgot her full name, Belmiria. I'll go with that for now. I'm sorry. I really like the way Nika talks back to Belmiria and how what they have been like the atrocious things they've done, and now even her like sobbing and like showing remorse is not enough because she's done that before in the past, and it's like this is not going to change anything. Like her being like this, like great voice acting on the VA's part, no doubt, but I do like that comment just saying how she's too selfish. Essentially, it's like you got to do more than just sob about this. Like, you want to actually make amends, do something about it. Out of every episode that has come out in this season so far, I think like how I'm feeling right now, this is the most calm I felt waiting for an episode, because this is like the most biggest flag for, hey, we're in the end game now, like I said previously. And with that, it's like, I think I can wait for the next episode just fine, because y'all know previously it's like, I need the next episode right now, please give it to me, I must. But like, after giving it some reflection, you know, like at the beginning after watching the episode I was like that, because it's like, you know, that immediate tension. But at this point it's like, I can't wait for it to happen. I'm willing to see where this ride goes. And that's not me saying that I'm losing interest in The Witcher Mercury or like I'm falling off of it. It's just that, you know what? I'm not going to stress myself over how things will go for the rest of this series or overthink too many things. I am now on the side of we may get another season, but Quiet Zero and like Prospero stuff is going to get wrapped up here. But even then, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to sit back, wait for the ride. The series, it could become too fast paced. You know, it could end up rushing its finale. Who knows? I'm just glad to have been along here for the ride, really. You know, I still love this series. Being a part of following this series for season 2 specifically has been such an amazing ride. You know, I wasn't really there for season 1 in terms of actually following it each episode, each week. But for here, actually being able to do that, man, it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun making these videos and getting other discussions out there. I still love so many of these characters. I'm still so invested in the story being told. You know, it's just a good show, and I don't know what to say beyond that, really. Maybe next week I'm probably going to be very not normal again, but for now, I am enjoying this little bit of peace I have with myself at the moment, at just an episode where I get to breathe, and you know what, I think we need that every now and then. I guess if I were to make like one more comment, it's always kind of weird to me because Quiet Zero is like, they say it in English. So whenever I see the subs, I just had to prepare for them to say Quiet Zero like in English vocally, and it always messes with me for some reason. It's like, it makes the name stick out even more, but hey, I guess that was the point. I don't really know where this is going. Alright, I really should just end things right here. So, you know, good episode. If you have your own thoughts, feel free to put them down in the comments. And with that, have a good day, y'all, and take care. Also, subscribe, comment, do all that junk. I don't know. I can't tell you what to do. Bye-bye.